Pokemon Soul Silver with only Elekid went surprisingly well, so let's try something more difficult today. Today, I'll try to beat Pokemon Platinum with only a single Starly. Starly stats are of course really low, since it's a first root bird with only a base stat total of 245, so this challenge will be quite tough. His attack and his speed stat are okay, but the rest just sucks. Also, a lot of gyms are super effective against my Starly. The gyms that are super effective against my Starly are the first gym with rock types, the 6th gym with steel types because he has 2 rock types and 1 electric type, which are both super effective against my Starly. The 7th gym is full with ice types and the 8th gym is full with electric types. So let's see what happens and let's begin the challenge. First, we had to face a rival, which I knew wasn't the problem at all, since he has only a Turtwig and a Starly. The first gym will be really tough though, if I didn't use my double team of course. Luckily, none of their moves one-shotted me, so I could heal whenever I wanted. I used a lot of double teams and healed when needed, and when my evasiveness couldn't go higher, I just spammed wing attack until they all died. The battle took a while, but luckily we managed to pull through with only a Starly so early on. First up, I had to use a X attack and X defense, since Burgley can deal a lot of damage, and I wanted to predict that with increasing my stats so that I could knock her out before she could knock me out. It was time for the second gym, but let's be fair, even though her stats are horrible, this is still a grass gym, so it was just really easy since we're a flying type, and since we're a few levels higher. Our new Team Galactic battle with Commander Jupiter went really well, since we used a lot of double teams, healed up a bit, and took her down with a few aerial aces, while she missed every move. Also, I decided to teach Starly Return, a move that is really strong when its friendship is really high. And that was the case, since we won a lot of battles and we only used Starly in battle. Next up was the Ghost Gym. First, I spammed some double teams to prevent her from hitting me. To predict her from hitting me with her Mismagius later on, since she is quite strong. We took her Duskull and hunted her down without any issues. Next up was her Mismagius. It wasn't as hard since she missed a couple of times, we used some aerial aces and the third batch was ours. Our rival battle was pretty easy, since we are overleveled and our friendship is really high. We almost one-shotted everything. Now we found ourselves Steel Wing, what is really useful since we can counter all of the rock types from now on. Next gym wasn't hard either, since it's a fighting type gym. Lucario did paralyze us, but luckily Brave Bird did one-shot it. After we received our 4th gym badge, I decided to teach Starly Fly. Poor Starly though, I hope he will be fine while I'm flying on his back. Now it was time to face the 5th gym. Gyarados was quite tough, but because of our double team strategy, we could handle it quite well. After we maxed our evasiveness, we went for return a lot of times and healed a lot. We managed to knock all of his Pokemon down and to receive our 5th gym badge. Then it was time to defeat Cyrus. This was way easier than expected. We just destroyed him with one-shotting all his Pokemon. But our rival battle was more difficult than last time, but we took care of it quickly because of our double team strategy. Even though the 6th gym was steel type, we handled it quite well. I spent a lot of double teams since one single Thunderbolt from Magneton would one-shot us, even though Starly is 20 levels higher. Starly's stats are just horrible. Luckily, he missed everything and we one-shotted it. I spammed Steel Wing on his Bastiodon since it's part rock type and knocked it out quite quickly. I spammed Return on his Steelix, what worked quite well. And so we received our 6th gym badge. Since the next gym was Ice, I had to grind a bit before we could defeat it, since her Frostlass is just way too strong for my Starly. Her attack and her speed are way higher than ours. So we battled at the lowest level that we could outspeed her and that we could do a lot of damage to knock her out before she could knock us out. Now luckily, after some grinding, we received our 7th gym badge. After the 7th gym, we went to the Distortion World to defeat Cyrus and Giratina. First was Cyrus. We were able to one-shot his Houndoom and his Weavile, two-shot his Gyarados, Honchkrow and his Crobat. Next up was Giratina. This battle was really confusing to me, since he kept using ghost moves on me, even though I'm a normal type. It only took 2 flies to take him down. It was time for the last gym that had a huge type advantage on us, since it's the electric type. I one-shotted his Jolteon and his Raichu. Even though Raichu paralyzed me before I went down, it was no issue to knock his Luxray down. Funny enough, we one-shotted his ace, Electivire, and we already received our 8th gym badge. Now it was time to defeat our rival for the last time. I one-shotted his Staraptor and almost his Floatzel. It has an ice move though, but we knocked it down soon afterwards. Heracross was knocked out by one single fly move, his Rapidash and Totara were also knocked out really quickly. Now it is time for the Elite Four and the most difficult champion of all time, Champion Cynthia. Well, the first battle has started. It's a bug type user, so I know it wouldn't be that hard. I first used a lot of double teams to raise my evasiveness. My return almost knocked it out in one turn. I knocked him out soon and he didn't even damage me. I first used a lot of double teams to raise my evasiveness. My return almost knocked it out in one turn. Drapion was gone with 3 hits, Vespiquen did a lot of damage, but luckily it didn't knock me out before I could knock him out. Heracross was gone in 1 hit, Scizor wasn't that big of an issue either. It took 1 fly and a few returns. Next up, I had to fight some ground Pokemon. First I used some X-Attacks, so that my PP wouldn't get too low. Whiscash did some damage, but I managed to take him out with 1 fly. I didn't use returns since I wanted to spare its PP. Gliscor was taken out with 1 return, and Hippowdon was taken out with only 1 Steel Wing. Next up was Flint, who has a lot of fire type Pokemon. First I used the same double team strategy, then I took his Houndoom down, 1 hit of return, and his Infernape with 1 hit of fly. Then I took the risk to try to knock his Magmortar down with 1 return. Even though I only had 31 HP, sadly it didn't kill in 1 turn. But it did miss, so I was able to take him down with 1 flying move afterwards. I took Rapidash down with 1 return and his Flareon with 1 flying move. Now I had to defeat the last member of the Elite Four. It was kinda scary since Mr. Mime has Thunderbolt. I used some special defense, and luckily I did critical hit it with a Steel Wing. Next up, I one-shotted his Gallade with 1 fly, and his Alakazam and Espeon with a return. His Bronzong is really defensive, so I decided to use some X-Attacks, and after that, I took him down with a few hits. Now, it was time to face the champion, Cynthia. But there's a twist. I won't use any items in this battle, since it's the most difficult fight and I want to beat her in the most difficult way possible. I went for the double team strategy, and after he missed everything, I took him down with Fly. Togekiss did a lot of damage. I knocked him down with 2 returns, but I still had to face 4 Pokemon with only 15 HP. Luckily his Lucario missed his extreme speed, so I was able to take him down with return and Fly. My Lodic was gone with only 2 returns, but her next Pokemon was her ace, Garchomp. I actually only had to hit it 3 times with return to take it down. Luckily he missed every move. Last up was Roserade, which was really easy since I could just one-shot it with only Fly. We killed it and we defeated the most difficult champion of Pokemon, Cynthia. So the answer to the question, is Pokemon Platinum beatable with only using a Starly in battle? Yes it is. I hope you all like this challenge because I love making these videos for you guys. And I hope that I can entertain you guys with the stuff I make. Leave a challenge you want to see next, and I'll catch you guys Monday.